Hello!
What? Hi! That was real fast. Welcome to this night's episode of Tragedy of Theolosian. I am Serenity. To traps,
and treasures. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yes. We got
Hi. Hello. We're here. We're just gonna go over a couple of things before we head into what happened last episode and get into meet our players. So first of all, I would love to go ahead and thank Geeky Clean for being an affiliate of ours. Geeky Clean is fantastic. They have dice they have bath bombs with dice in them, and they have different soaps. They are fantastic, and their prices are really good too. So if you reach out and use that link, then you're supporting us and them, which is awesome. And then another thing for supporting us, this month we're bringing back the Patreon, but instead of it just being for Witches of Woodside, it is now going to be for all three of our shows and our entire channel. We are doing a really cool thing where you kind of pay what you can, but please, if you want to support us, do what you want to do so we can keep that going for everyone who wants to support our channel. Another roundabout, we have a charity, and I'm actually going to have Sloan talk about it again because they talked about it real well last week. But pretty much 10% of all of our proceeds are going to be going to this charity.
Yes, so stopping line 3 is very important. First of all, to the folks who will be most affected, which are the native folks who live in that area, the Anishinaabe people. Also, secondly, we've had enough of people getting away with just totally poisoning the planet and having no repercussions. So in this one situation, we have actual legal grounds to fight against it and have it be taken seriously. And so we are going to donate some of our income that we get this month to the folks who are working hard to stop line 3, because being an activist is fucking hard. And the least that we can do is send them some money so they can buy a coffee or pay for a lawyer. So yeah,
the two sides of the spectrum.
Please
buy a coffee
donate.
or buy a lawyer.
Yeah.
And then just in case, it is in our little warning in the text with that link, but in case it is completed and the support is no longer necessary through the end of the month, the proceeds will go to Honor the Earth, which is something suggested by the Line 3 protesters, which is going to help I believe it's still, is it Native Americans or Canadians?
Native folks.
Native folks, cool. I wasn't sure if there was a specific. That is what's been suggested, so we just want to be open and honest and let you know that if for some reason we are unable to continue through line 3, it will still go to a great cause suggested by them. We would like to thank Sirenscape for our music today, for the vibes.
Thanks for the vibes.
Thank you for the vibes. And then we do also have a lovely little nifty content warning. So I like to check in with my players, make sure they are doing good, but I can't check in on you guys. So if you guys are uncomfortable with some of the content that we have out, if this episode is just too much, go ahead, take a break. You can watch our VODs, which are going to be here and also on our YouTube channel. But if that's just something you can't handle, that's okay. You can just skip to the next episode. There will be a recap. We just want to make sure you feel good because brain stuff is hard. So we want to make sure you're doing okay. All right, so before we go on, I'm going to have my players introduce themselves again. Hi, I'm Serenity. I am the DM for tonight. And we'll start with the first one, which is Andre.
Hello, I'm Andre. I go by Dice Goblin Andre, and I play fucking Kazimir, the Wild Magic Minotaur Barbarian bitch.
And also Mario Kart.
And also Mario.
Wow!
Hi, my name is Sloan, aka Arplebe, and I play Bastian, the wizard. A little bitch boy, man bun, baby boy, small lad. That's it.
Wizard? Derogatory?
Wizard derogatory. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Depth. I will be playing Melaena, a rogue, and nothing else. That's it.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. That's Christian.
Oh my god.
As you can see, back in my regular spot, and I'm wearing fantastic merch that you can get on redbubble.com/people/faithfiend-friend.
Nice.
Oh my god!
You had the link and everything.
I had the link and everything because it's right on my screen.
So ready.
Oh, I'm also playing Ragna of the Iron Claw, Leonin Echo Knight fighter, who's terrified of his Echo Knight right now.
Oh my god.
You're playing a cat. You're playing a cat afraid of their shadow, and I just love that.
Oh god, yep.
Cute.
He just giggled. It's fine.
He
Doesn't
just-
giggle.
He moves his scarf around a little. It's fine.
Shadows don't giggle. Shadows don't giggle, and the fact that it did is bad.
Hurtful.
Also, I will be wearing my eye patch, so give me a second.
That is a great roundabout. I wanted to wait until you could see. So Christian is wearing our wonderful merch. So we do have that on Redbubble. Again, 10% of our proceeds, including from there, is going to go to our charity. Get yourself some merch. We have just our Fae Fiends and Friends logo. We have our Tragedy, the Theolosian logo. We have Sellsword Saga logo, and we have the Witches of Woodside. And we have a couple special things that are going to be coming up soon. So you should just come back tomorrow. You should just come hang out tomorrow with us during Witches of Woodside at the same time. Depth and I will both be there.
Speaking of Witches of Woodside, we know that we've been playing for a year now, which is a lot of content, and we didn't expect you to watch all of it because it can get overwhelming sometimes. So instead, we will be uploading a simple YouTube video that will be explaining the entire storyline so far, so you can keep up with us live tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be about 30 to 45 minutes long. And it'll be uploaded sometime tomorrow morning. So you can watch it, have it all fresh in your mind before we start the new arc tomorrow.
Yeah, because that's about 50 episodes worth, and that's fantastic. And I know all of you like critters out there can handle that, but not all of us can pay attention for that long in a row. So
I have ADHD.
I don't want to listen to me talk is my thing. So I'm just
That's
going to
valid.
listen to Frank talk instead.
Valid.
All right. So we are going to go around and we're going to go to what happened last episode. There was a lot of things that happened last episode. So last episode, the gang lost a couple people. And they gained an NPC to join them for a little bit named Sosi, who was a pure blood Yanti who went to help them because his sister was stuck in the situation that they were going to go towards, which was one of the suitors, Golnash. They were just going to go get him because fuck all this fucking negativity around here.
Correct.
They're gonna go vibe check him, and boy howdy did they do. So
I think we got vibe
We
checked.
got vibe checked.
I think it
Like
was like
hard.
a combination. I think it was a combination vibe check. So the gang ended up finding this spot, which was a buried little oh my gosh, ziggurat, like a buried ziggurat, which ended up being. We can't drink in the middle of this, Bonnie. What the hell? Damn it. Now, they found the ziggurat, which was the back entrance to the hidden underground location of Golnash and his Yanti army. They went down, they found a couple of guards, offed them, and started traveling through the underground dungeon tunnels. The first level, not so exciting. Second level, they end up coming across a Yanti liaison who has a fake hand snake. His name was Rory, and he liked exploding things. He played with a lot of natural explosives, and they befriended him very quickly. Spoilers, you guys. God dang, I didn't even get there.
Oh my God.
And they were like, oh, do you want to help us? And he said, sure. And they were like, you want to come downstairs? And he said, no, he's not allowed down there anymore. So he decided to help from above. When they went down there, they did find Golnash and a lot of his lieutenants, and a gigantic fight ensued. A few things that happened. Melaena saw a vision of her mother, which did a whole fuck ton of damage, and she got downed. And then Bastian was actually holding up really well throughout this entire fight, even got the last hit on the last guy, and passed out again, like twice, 3 times, so many times. Kazimir was knocked down pretty far by Golnash himself, who barely seemed to react to any of the damage he took. And Ragna was actually very close to being downed as well. Ragna, in a turn of events, very out of character for himself, just saw red and went off, which made his echo reappear without any sort of calling, and took a bit of liberty of changing some stuff around on the map and helping out. Ending up after the battle just resulting in a chuckle and a smile and going away. Sosi, at the end, he left the fight to continue forward. The gang finds out later on that Sosi actually took on a whole separate battle in the back. He is now passed along with his sister and a few scientists who were doing some work. At the end of their battle, they came back up to Rory, who had set up a very overly large explosive on the foundation of the ziggurat itself. He stayed behind as they all went away, making sure to honor his last wish of bringing a giant barrel from downstairs with water and fish inside of it to join the explosion. And as the ziggurat was crumbling, they exited just in the nick of time and saw all of their work just flash before their eyes go away. So now the gang is severely traumatized, but alive. We have quite a bit to do today, so who wants to go first?
How soon is this after we escape the ziggurat?
Does anyone have anything they want to do directly after or during that rest?
I just want to sleep.
Oh, fair. Technically, you're still asleep. You haven't woken up yet.
No, yeah, fully. I don't really have anything until, like, probably the next day.
That's very fair. We can skip to the next day if you guys want to, or we can do something directly after.
Yeah.
I think this doesn't. I'll just wait till tomorrow. Never mind. It makes more sense.
I mean, if we're sleeping.
If we're
Yeah.
sleeping.
If we're sleeping, you want to do your thing?
What a better way to contact the god of dreams than when I'm sleeping.
Sounds good. Yeah, you were actually passed out, and rather than your normal nightmares, you just feel there's darkness. There's really no, it's slightly restful, but there's no like memories or thoughts. But if you wish to contact Hypnos, I'll just need you to make a religion roll with advantage. And I'll let you do it.
Bless you.
Get him.
Ooh, that was a good one. That was also a good one. Religion. That's 21.
Hell yeah. So in your darkened sleep, you seem to awake, but once you open your eyes, you realize you're not where you were before, you're just in a dark room on more of a pedestal type bed. Not insanely comfortable. It's more like just like a rock pedestal, like you were resting in the middle of this room, with visages that you currently normally have nightmares of, circling around you, in a complete circle. This is the same area that Bastian found when you were in your dreams. And Hypnos seems to just walk through the memories themselves and walks up to you, kind of sits at the edge of the pedestal bed, and just tilts his head, goes, "You needed me?"
Yeah. I've been thinking about everything. I want your help. And you owe me at this point, so...
Well, I won't say you're wrong. What kind of help were you thinking?
I know that there are people who have access to healing magic. Is there any way you can give me something like that?
I can. I can do a little more for you as well, since, like you said, I do owe you. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to, you see his hands are adorned in very plain looking, but beautiful jewelry. He has a very, like a very olive skin tone, so these bronze rings sort of blend in. But he goes ahead and just pulls one off. He kind of just breathes on it, wipes it off to kind of shine it a little, and offers it to you in his palm. Do you want to take it?
She'll pick it up.
Looking
What is
closer. I'll describe it first. Looking closer at it, the bronze ring, it has some filigree along the sides. It looks like a bunch of waves going along the side of it. It looks calming and relaxing. Basically just a beautifully made ring, very simple, no gems. And he will smile and go, "I will lend you some of my power, and you can use that ring to utilize it."
All right then. Like what?
I mean, it's sort of up to you. I'm not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm a god. I can do quite a few things. I can't give you large things at first, but I can go ahead and help you out a little bit. I know you haven't done much magic, but we'll start you off with some lower levels, some easier spells, and hopefully that'll help.
Thanks.
And you have to wear it to use it.
She'll put it on.
And he'll kind of smile and go, "Does this mean you forgive me? Or is this just on the right path?"
It's on the right path.
I'll take what I can get. And he's gonna go ahead, lean over to you, kind of give you like a pat on the back. And look down at his knees for a second as he's sitting there, and then look back up to you. Are you doing okay?
Yeah. I mean, I can't exactly think that this is what Mom had imagined when she asked me to be champion, but I'm in it now. And I trust the people that are with me.
I think it's better for you. I think if you were to be held up in that place any longer, you would have gone crazy.
Maybe.
You have too much in your dad in you. You're too adventurous for that kind of stuff. Only so much you can do with the same, dark room and certain stars.
Well, at least now I know that's true.
I'm sure you'll meet him again. I'm not, not in a threatening way. Not in the you're gonna die way. If anyone can go through the journey and be hard-headed to accomplish something, it'd be you.
Well, I might have the mortality of my dad, but I do have the pride of you immortals.
See, that's a dangerous combination. You're gonna get yourself into some deep shit. You ready for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I am.
I don't envy you, but good luck. And he'll just kind of give you a smile and then just dissipate from the bed. And if you wish to lay back down, you can go back to sleep.
I guess I will.
You're not going to have any nightmares that night, though.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. When you go back to sleep, you have pretty much you've had the shit knocked out of you. Your brain can barely make a real thought. So you're just going to get some rest.
Love that for me.
Love that for you. All right. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go to the next day. Bastian and Melaena finally wake up. It's probably about early morning, still cool out. The sun's rising.
Bastian wakes up earlier than normal, and all by himself. No one has to kick him in the side to get him to actually get out of bed. I don't think he really says anything to anybody. He just gets up and starts getting ready very deliberately, and then he gathers up his spell book and his satchel, but leaves his bedding and other stuff that he doesn't need, and his wand and all that, and he just walks out of the tent and starts walking towards... What does the area look like where we are right now?
You guys are still in the deserted area. However, at this point, you guys couldn't get too far.
Right.
With how much damage you guys took. So there is a very large canopy that has been put in above you guys to shield you from the sun. Mm-hmm. It matches a lot of Drachnos's different attire and everything. Mm-hmm. What he normally has. Mm-hmm. So you can assume it's his. Other than that, there are dunes, the occasional cactus or brush, but it's really out in the open.
I'm gonna go, I don't know, if I can get, behind a dune or something.
Easily.
And find a cactus. Bastian just finds like a portion of the land where there's rocks and some like gravel, and he just like takes out his spell book and kneels down on the ground and opens it up and slams it down and just starts thumbing through it to some of his unfinished pages, and just gets up and begins to work on his new spells, and just like walks out of camp, disappears around a dune, and then you see flashes of light and hear like bangs from behind the sand, like the sounds of explosions. And he is going to do that for a long time.
Xerxes comes around. When you wake up, you do notice that Xerxes is sleeping like next to you. And you go ahead and leave after a couple bangs. He comes around like kind of like quickly over the dune. Mm-hmm. And then nonchalantly walks down like there was not an issue. And then he'll just kind of sit next to you, kind of peck at the cactus. Eat a little bit of like the cactus fruit.
I'm aiming at, he is just unleashing like these chains of same like golden sort of fiery energy that he used last battle, and is just like one after the other at anything that is standing.
Xerxes just like going back and forth looking.
Yeah. Eyebrows furrowed, like face serious, just 100% concentration. And every once in a while he'll turn back to the book, like cursing under his breath. And
is he doing the same spell, or is he like is he researching?
He's making changes to it. He is this was one of the spells that he was working on, attempting to magnify Firebolt. Oh, hey, the welcome in. Thanks for that.
Hi, the welcome in.
Yo,
Thanks.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
We're working with spells. Cool. No, that's awesome. Can you go ahead and roll me like an Arcana?
Yeah, for sure. Fuck. It's 24.
Oh no, it's 24. Only 24. You, after a couple of attempts, you have played around with magic enough, you've manipulated magic enough to where you can kind of get it to basically do what you would like. Mm-hmm. But just like when you're drawing, it doesn't always come out the same way you wanted it to.
Right.
But you are doing you are having a very easy time manipulating this to your own customizations.
Right.
No issues. Xerxes is just kind of watching, head tilted. He'll definitely give you that like if he sees something that looks really nice or looks especially cool, he'll be like give a little burr, like, you know. He'll put it in his opinion for you.
I think he just does that for a while. Eventually he starts to like sweat because it's fucking hot, and also he's working, so he'll just like strip out of his shirt and all that jazz and just continue.
Melaena, wake up. No,
Melaena, wake up challenge.
Melaena, wake up challenge. Since there's a cactus right next to you, Xerxes definitely does kind of knock over a fruit your way, for you to fucking hydrate or die straight.
I'm fine.
So.
It's got fucking sand on it. You put it in the sand. Oh. Fine. He picks it up and we'll just munch.
Yeah. So he's just making sure you're staying good. But yeah, is there anything else you would like to do, particularly at this point, before other people wake up?
Nope. He's just out there, and he will stay out there for as long as he can without getting sunburned.
That's not very long. You're a very pasty bitch.
I have olive tones.
Okay.
Bastian is
I'm sorry, Bastian acts like a pasty bitch. That's probably the Am I wrong?
Oh, okay. I'll just be here. Y'all do whatever the fuck you want. Bye.
No, I love him. All right, so you guys do end up hearing as you wake up. It's not extremely loud to you guys, as not only the heavy amounts of sand, like he is in between dunes, so it muffles it pretty well. But you guys do wake up to hearing some magic. It doesn't seem like it's being you don't sound like you're being attacked, if that's what you like wake up worrying about. It just sounds like someone's playing with magic.
Yeah. I think Kaj gets up after hearing some of the explosions in the distance and just sort of sighs and walks over towards this sort of like dune valley with his bag full of shit, and kind of just stands on like the overpass and looks down at Bastian as he's like casting.
I think that he turns to take a look at his spellbook and then just like shakes his hands, paces back out to the middle, and like stands kind of like a fencer would, like readied, and then begins to like trace a sigil in the air, and it forms, and then he like shoves his wand through it, and there is like a buildup of energy, but then a massive spark, and his wand like flies out of his hand. He just goes, fuck, ow, shit, god, fuck, son of a bitch, and it's just like a stream of bad words. He goes to get his wand, right back to it.
Kaj won't say anything at first, but just slides down the dune, and approaches.
As he turns back to like pace some more, he just catches sight of you and is, good morning.
Good to see you are awake.
Good to be awake. Right back at it, just firing spells. Doesn't really look at you, but
he reaches into his bag and begins pulling out some like the books that were on the shelves, and just sets them aside, and then just calls out like, I also found a scroll.
that gets his interest. Does like a double take. And he just scurries on over. The books. I was looking forward to reading those, but I was anticipating it happening in a sort of a different setting. You got...
Just starts putting them away.
No, that's not what I meant. It's no, leave the books. I want them. You got these?
We raided the lair before we escaped. So this was what was on the shelves.
Well, hopefully there will be something useful for our trouble. What about that scroll?
I don't know. I didn't open it.
Yoink.
I also love that Kazimir just had it between two fingers and then Bastian grabbed it with both hands. I love that.
Big boy. Scroll. What does it say?
You are looking over this magic, and I believe we talked about it. It looks like it is a spell. It looks like it is Mind Spike.
Fuck yeah. Great. This is... Yes. Perfect. This will be helpful. Some good did come out of it. Just puts it down next to the spell book. Were you just dropping these off, or can I help you with something?
I was checking to make sure that you are at least physically okay.
Well, I do have these cuts, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to peacock tea these away, so...
Would you like... He just pulls out the reed instrument.
Will that help?
It is something. Is it not worth trying at least?
Sure.
And Kazimir plays another fucking riff.
Give me a little tune.
I'm gonna go ahead and be spicy and just say, it's just that juicy little D8. See if that helps out at all. Well, you got 1 HP, bud.
Did the scars go away at all? Or the marks? Anything?
So, the thing is, the way that I like to play with scarring is if you want them to stay, they can.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something that you do want them to go away, they will go away slowly over time with healing.
Okay.
Yeah, and rest.
Okay.
So, if you want them to go, yes.
Okay. Yeah. They close up just a little bit, just a little bit from that 1 hit point. Well, that's helpful.
Again?
No, it doesn't matter. We'll do it again later. I'm busy. That can't happen again.
What?
What do you think? Almost dying if,
There
like...
were lots of things that went wrong.
There were a lot of things that went wrong. I'm saying that shit can't happen again. So we all need to talk. Later. Thank you for the books and the scroll. And also for healing me during the fight. More spells.
And Kaz turns around. Recognizing this conversation is over.
Great.
He doesn't know how to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Perfect.
And walks back to the dunes.
Perfect. Before we continue, do you want to do anything with those books?
I'm gonna look at them.
I'm gonna look at them.
I want to look at them.
You wanna look at them?
Yeah.
Do you speak Draconic?
No, but
Okay.
I can cast comprehend languages.
Sounds good. So yeah, so you open a book, you can't read it, you fix it.
Yeah.
So a lot of these books are, they're basic, like, storybooks, like, basic books that you've already read, you know, like something, it's like the live, laugh, love of fucking books. Like, there are basic books that are gonna be in people's library. But there are 2 things that spark your interest. The first one is a book that looks like it's bound in a stained black leather. And it has gold trim around it, and it is titled Our God Ecliptius.
Ecliptius. The fuck is that?
And as you start reading, you see a story. I love seeing Depth now. They're going, ah! You see a story about Apollo, who loved a mortal Yuan-Ti woman. She was pregnant with his child and then fell in love with another person. They are not described in any way, shape, or form, just a man. Apollo was very upset. And
Understandable.
through Artemis, sentenced her to death. She was burned at a pyre, but felt awful that his child would be killed as well. So he made sure and saved the child. This child would have numerous healing abilities, and even though they were born mortal, many people believe that they bridged the gap between God and mortal as a demigod. He died quite a few years back. But the thing about that is it looks like in this, it seems like many groups of Yuan-Ti worship him as a snake god of medicine, and as pretty much the Yuan-Ti's rising into being a part of the pantheon. So they see him as an idol. And you see a lot of stories with you reading a lot of books. A lot of these are misconstrued or over-exaggerated.
Right. It's like obviously folklore.
A lot of it's folklore.
Yeah.
But this is almost like a Bible to them, it looks like. And in the back, you start to see certain things that Asclepius had said in past lives about certain medicines and healing. They are X'd out with a red ink. And you see writing in Draconic over it in a very harsh, rushed handwriting. Looking closer, this is actually blood. And you see things saying wrong in Draconic and telling things a different way. But slowly, as these are changing, like he would say wrong and write something scientific, as these are changing, they start to make less and less sense. And then start to become not even really words. Your comprehend languages can't tell what the heck that's saying. And at the end, it's just starting to scribble out the back pages.
Okay, so this person was insane. Got it. Helpful. Very helpful.
The second book is a journal. The journal seems to be a journal of the findings that the medicine man was working on about the brain snakes. You open up to a random page. Day 57. I have worked with these purebloods for far too long. They seem to be dying left and right. Extremely useless. We'll try to suggest to Gulnash to use better test subjects. And flipping through these are just very negative. You see some explanations of how the brain snakes go in to the brain and begin to work, and the reactions. Some of them are very visceral, pulling themselves up from the table, trying to rip off the bondages that connect them to the table. Other people quickly succumb with little to no issues. However, they keep finding very mediocre Medusae. Very similar to the ones that you'd seen before with just simply the snake hair. But even in these writings, they are saying that they have executed them as they are not worthy for combat. And
what is the point of them trying to what is the point of them turning them into Medusalae? Like, why? Why are they putting the brain snakes in these people?
If you're reading through, and from what kind of basically, go ahead and roll a history check. You're gonna do good, but basically this is just a rundown from everything you've learned.
Clone is dumb.
You're good.
Bastian is not, but 16.
Oh, Bastian's fine. So basically, from what you've learned, these brain snakes are something that the Viper Queen can do. And with her spreading and being able to use these and utilize these, she can grow a bigger army.
Right. Got it.
And take over more and more people. However, this seems to be a very specific study to try to create stronger Medusalae.
Does the handwriting in the journal match the handwriting in the book that I just read? It does,
and you can see with the timeline as well. At the beginning, it seems to be just like the writing inside of their quote-unquote Bible. But as you flip through, the pages start making less and less sense. The findings are inconclusive or just outright nonsensical.
Right. This person went completely mad. Okay. He's been out here long enough, so just look towards the spell book. He's gonna get up and just gather all the books and start walking back to the tent.
Sounds good. All right. Does anyone else have any other way you'd want to do this, or am I gonna just start calling on random people to do random things?
I think while as soon as Kazimir left to go over the ridge or go over the hill, I think Ragna's just been up this entire time. He's been up since Bastian, but he's just been looking at the sky, and he moves his hand to look at his gloves, his like thick worker's gloves, and he sees that each fingertip has like a rip in it from when his claws extended from all the trying to stay alive, and his instinct basically taking over, and he's just staring at that. And he gets up as Kazimir goes over the ridge to go check on Melaena and their injuries, because he was the one who did the medicine check to keep them stable. So he's just going over there to see if they're still okay and checking like the work he did, I guess, the medicine check he did, just make sure they're okay. And if they wake up, they wake up. But he's just generally just checking on them, trying to ignore the rips in his fingers, his gloves rather.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably around all at the same time. Melaena probably would wake up, so it is up to you if you would like to.
Yeah, Melaena kind of wakes up. Probably with a start, like, reaching for, like, the daggers. And sees Ragna and, like, looks around and kind of...
I know this is a silly question, but how are you feeling?
Fine, sore,
Yeah, we have options of
but
that. Send that for you. Yeah.
did we kill him?
He's dead, yes.
Okay, that's good. What happened afterwards?
A lot happened. The yuan we met decided that he wanted to go out with a bang, I guess. You know, that sounds a little bit morbid. And he points over to where the ziggurat used to be. And it's just that cave. I'm guessing it's like a sort of cave in now.
So that's the first time, when Bastian and Melaena woke up. You're not very far from the location. There is a huge crater that is now filled in with sand that looks very loose.
Rory decided to take their appreciation of explosives a little far.
Interesting.
Oh, also, we lost Saucy.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, he was betrayed by the one he thought he trusted. But in the end, he was with his sister. So
Betrayal stings like no other. How are you?
it's complicated. That can't happen again. Whatever that was, it went wrong. It went wrong on so many levels. I can't begin to start thinking about it again. I'm just happy. I'm happy we're alive.
Hopefully it won't. I pulled in a favor from one of my brothers.
Which one?
Hypnos.
I hope this favor didn't cost you anything.
No. He owed me after doing something without my permission. So he gave me magic.
Well, what kind of magic?
Healing magic.
I think at healing magic, instinctively he touches like one of his wounds that he had. He's like,
I can try it out if you'd like.
I don't mind being a guinea pig experiment. Go ahead.
And she's gonna cast Cure Wounds at first level.
Yay! Do you have? Can I step in for a second with something?
Oh, absolutely.
So this is your first time with magic, so it just kind of spills out of you. And you've noticed everyone kind of has their own flavor with magic. What innately just comes out is as you place your hand onto Ragna, you feel this very warm sensation go through your arm. You feel relaxed, but Ragna, as this hits you, it just feels like when you put like a heating pad on a very sore muscle, you just relax and are super comfortable. Visually, what you see, Melaena, is going to be a very soft kind of like periwinkle mist coming from under your hands. It smells of lavender and just bubbles. There's a couple little bubbles coming out. And very calming, very relaxing, almost like a bath bomb. Geeky clean. No, that was not intentional. That just worked really well. But it's just a very relaxing, comforting type of effect.
Wait. Hey, that's 6. Do I haven't played a cleric in so long.
Welcome back.
Add your wisdom modifier.
9.
Heck yeah. Yeah, at that point, Ragna, as you're feeling this warm feeling go and course all over your body, scars that you're having, any wounds that have been kind of just bandaged over, and that since it was last night, they're not going to be very well healed. You feel those closing up, feel that nice soothing feeling. And for any scars that you can visually see, they just kind of just go away in a mist.
Guess that was a success.
Yeah. I'm very glad that worked.
I'm glad it worked too. I don't want healing magic to backfire.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a pretty sight.
At least you seem to be a natural. So. I'm sorry for not protecting you better.
Don't be sorry for that. You did your best. Combat is tricky like that. It can turn in an instant.
I'm still very inexperienced with the whole fighting for your life thing, so.
Well, I hate to say that you get used to it, but...
I guess we'll have to get used to it if we're going to be doing this kind of thing, huh?
Yes.
Well, just know I'll do better.
That's all we can do.
Agreed.
And when it's situations like this, you have no choice but to get better. Not to sound morbid, but it is either get better or die. So
I think we all learned that last night.
we did.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk to the group about this not happening again.
Of course.
If they stop blowing up the desert, I guess.
Yeah, I think Bastian's working on his spells again.
Well, he is hoping he gets it right. And also doesn't do the opposite of what he wants.
He's a smart man.
Fuck!
Like a scene out of Lawrence of Arabia.
Dude, what? You just see like Xerxes, like just like
Just a puff of feathers. He's a smart man. He'll figure it out.
I don't doubt that. I think I'm going to help get breakfast ready, so
I can help if you need.
I would appreciate that, yes.
Brekkie!
Brekkie time. It's just rations and cactus fruit. That's probably the best you can get here.
Oh,
And
that's
cactus
incredible.
fruits. It is the quenchiest. Well, these cacti are fine. The fruit on them are good. I mean, just gotta make sure you take those pricklies off first.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you like a spicy, like taste, I guess. Just like physical pain, spicy.
That's not.
Nice,
Spice
dog.
is.
That is what.
That's just
Thank you for the
fun.
rage, Aber. Thanks. That's not
Thank you
spice.
so much.
Thanks for the raid!
Don't be spicy.
Spice is a chemical reaction. You're talking about
And
stabbing
when
yourself
you're
in the
in
mouth with
pain-
a cactus.
When you're in pain, it's a chemical reaction.
Pain is a chemical reaction. I'm chemically reacting to the prickly part touching my tongue and causing
Capsaicin
blood.
doesn't make you bleed.
Serenity, this is the most player thing you've ever said as a DM, I have to say.
Well, we're only on episode 11, so
Here
I'm
we go.
really surprised that I've gotten this far.
Me too, honestly.
Shut up! How dare you?
At some point, while they're getting breakfast ready, Bastian will come back, books in his arms. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I almost dropped my phone. Books in his arms, goes into the tent, gets some water, and just quick wipe off all the fucking dirt and grime, and then is gonna get it together and walk back out.
I would really like to imagine that Jesus was in character. You're walking past with your book, you almost drop a Jesus, and then you just keep walking.
That's good.
I
Sure.
honestly thought that was in character. I thought like Bastian was
No.
just like with the handful. of-
Dropping shit. Oh, I love it.
Does Jesus of Nazareth exist in this world?
It's a
No.
new thing. It's a new thing.
It's a saying. It's like Myronid's bussin'. It's just like a new term.
Yeah, he's a...
What?
Jesus!
What is happening?
Also, hi. Thanks for the raid.
What the
so
fuck
much
is
to
going
say.
on? Yeah. Yep.
I would... Was there anything else Bastian wanted to do before I jump in?
No. Jump
Okay,
in, please.
cool,
Feed
cool.
first.
Kazimir's helping out, just making the rations as edible as possible.
Here,
And then...
Leto is being a very good girl, sitting, waiting for a treat. And Finley comes back with a good amount of like pieces of cactus. They're like dethorned, and some cactus fruit. They came around together, and she just kind of offers that to put in there.
Kazimir looks at the fruit that are already like plucked and like dethorned, just like, and then squeezes it into the pan as like a makeshift like oil.
Oh shit, he's bougie.
He's using what he's got.
I love it.
And then just like eats the rest of the pulp basically, and then looks to Finley and is like, "That was you found it like this, or you did this yourself?"
The dethorning? I did. But the fruit was there when I got there. And she just kind of like smiles.
Good.
Sorry, Hercules was doing hate crimes and
Oh.
wasn't.
Being a fucking menace.
He lured me in. He was like being so cute, and he was like reaching up and then just bit my cheek.
Monstrous.
Sorry.
Kazimir is in like this awkward place where he like hesitates for a long time, and then just states just like, "Do you have a plan?"
You're gonna ask the group child. Okay. For what?
Are you staying? Are you going?
Do you want me to leave?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
I don't really have a plan. I wanted to help you all out as much as possible with my mother. And then after that, I had no idea.
You do not have anything that calls to you?
She's been in a box for like a long time.
She's been in a box for like a year and a half, dude.
like a year and a half.
She's got
Give her a hot
freedom.
second to like figure the shit out.
She's only been out for
You got
like
a plan? What do you want to
3
do?
weeks.
Not be in a box actually would be great.
You know what'd be awesome? Freedom.
Freedom sounds pretty sick right now.
Kazimir like grimaces and then is like, "Come on." After finishing up breakfast, serves it to everybody, but then like leaves with Finley for a little bit.
Leto's coming along, going on adventure. She'll follow. She'll like quickly like start to follow, then run back, put the like bowl of fruit back, grab a couple, and then run to catch up with you. You have very large legs. You're very tall in comparison to her. She has to like hustle.
Goes over to like a bit of like a rock, like an outcropping with like some brush around it.
Yeah, you can find a little bit of that.
And then starts some more like training with Leto. To like last time we did this, Leto was working on like guarding. And Kaj wants to try and teach her to like attack. And I would that still be animal handling for that?
Yeah. Basically, animal handling is just you training her how to do it, like you giving her like the commands and everything. And then I just make an intelligence check just so she can understand.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and roll in.
Wait, so are you having Leto attack Finley?
No.
Okay,
That's on himself. On himself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's gonna take a couple times for her.
Sick him.
Like at himself?
No. It was a gag. It was a bit. It was a gag.
She can't run very fast.
I know.
Wait, what's that movie where like you hunt people?
Where they run down the really long sand in front of the temple.
Yeah.
It's the one about Aztecs.
No.
It's right.
No. It's the
About the rich guy on the island, and the most dangerous game.
The most dangerous game. That's the most dangerous game, this bitch.
Well, that's not fair because she's like malnourished. She's finally figuring shit out. God.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna roll animal handling check.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Oh shit! I got a nat 20. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, I'll give her advantage with that. She rolled a 2.
It's a total of 26.
Okay. So with the combination of this, she does understand. At first, she's like,
Kazimir is in like a intimidating position.
She goes down into play position because she doesn't understand at first. And then as you redirect your commands, she learns this is serious. So she'll go ahead and get into more of like a offense offense position and begin to like kind of like bark and like kind of like she's getting it. She's not all the way there, but she is getting it.
Yeah. And then is just trying to like goad her on a little bit more of like some like snorts and like kind of like also like psyching her out a little bit.
Oh, when you psych her out, she's gonna fucking turn tail, run around. Have you seen a boxer fucking run? Fucking yeet, and then come back around and then play and then jump on you and then realize it's not what you need to do. She's getting there. But
not there yet. Yeah.
But sweet girl, no brain.
After a little bit of that, Kaj relents and just kind of like pets her, gives her a treat, and then looks over to Finley and grabs one of the plushies that they grabbed from the like outpost town from a while back. And has Leto play with it for a little bit and looks over to Finley. You want to play with her?
That sounded like a command rather than a question. But yes, I mean, sure. And she'll get up. There was no question mark on the end of that.
Yeah.
And she'll get up and she'll go to like try to grab it from Leto. And the minute Leto tugs, she falls forward with it because Leto's way stronger than she is. And she gets up
Kazimir's like, hold on. And like grabs the toy and it's like, sit. And then hands the toy to Finley. And he just like points in like the direction.
Mhm.
Forward.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. And it goes like 5 feet. I rolled a nat 1.
Oh, no!
No! Poor Finley.
Leto is just excited that it's on the ground and quickly brings it back.
Good. That's it. You just did that over and over.
Okay. And she'll keep trying, and she'll slowly get better. She'll offer it to you at one point. I'm assuming like Leto has to sprint to go get it and then bring it back, like over a dune. Then she comes back like a minute later.
Like a fucking linebacker. The quarterback.
Okay,
Jesus. I know.
The stuffed animals doing like spirals.
Yeah.
Didn't know we could do that.
This is a fun fact. This is practice for Bastian. Anyway.
Are we throwing Bastian?
Maybe in the future, we'll see.
Not this pigskin bitch. I think that Bastian like walks out from freshening up just as Kazimir is leaving and is like, all right, God, fuck. Okay, we can just wait. And he's gonna walk over to he'll walk over to Melaena and Ragna and just park his little butt down, plop down next to them.
How are you feeling?
Like I was sorely abused. What about you?
Gonna kill a migraine.
Yeah. Ragna?
I feel like my body is on fire, so.
I was hoping that we could talk. But, oh, thanks for the raid, commune. Thanks,
Thank you
Alec.
for
Hey,
the
bud.
raid.
Hey, thank you!
I was hoping that we could talk about what happened. But I guess we can. I guess we can wait. Right.
At that point, after Finley has started playing fetch with Leto, Kazimir comes back, and you just feel his like footsteps as you're speaking.
I would say yes,
Speak of the
except
devil.
sand.
Except Sand.
He's still, big boy.
You could see him as he's like at the base of a dune. It's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
So, what have we learned?
That's a rhetorical question, or are you like quizzing us?
No, genuinely. What the fuck have we learned from this situation? Because we're about to go into a similar one, willingly. So, and I don't know about everyone else, but I would prefer not to have a repeat. So,
I was telling Ragnar. I put in a favor. And got healing magic.
From who?
What was that? I didn't hear that, Andre.
From who?
Ah. Hypnos.
what? Why?
He owed me.
No, yeah,
after.
that makes sense. Actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's handy.
So what he did, I figured he couldn't say no to giving me a few tricks.
Right. Well, that's definitely going to help.
And it works. I tested it on Ragna this morning.
Good. I don't have enough spells. I don't have enough fucking spells. But I'm working on it. So hopefully I have something that can do a little bit more damage. Consistently. No healing. But you don't have to heal if the people you're fighting are dead, so.
Very true.
And hopefully it's something that'll make their job killing us a little bit harder.
I want to apologize. I picked the wrong person to fight first. I should have went after the smaller ones. And then got into the bigger one. I took on too much. I took on too much than I could handle. I thought I could handle. I was wrong.
You did keep him engaged, though. The other side of that is he could have run to the back room and gotten someone, more people. Who knows?
Sometimes keeping...
What just happened?
What happened?
Our doorbell went off and Jacob
Oh.
sing along.
Hydrate!
Hydrate. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's
Wait,
fine.
y'all actually have water? I only have Coca-Cola.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a vanilla Coca-Cola. Not sponsored. Please sponsor us.
Oh, my package from Redbubble just came!
Hey!
Oh shit, everyone! We got merch! We have merch!
Unboxing video.
I'm not showing my address on
Be
stream.
careful!
Wait, did you get a hat? Because you can wear your hat.
I got my hoodie. I got a hoodie.
Oh!
Anyway, push your
Anyway.
camera. God,
Serious scene time.
This is important.
looks so good.
Okay.
You did get the shit kicked out of you, though. I mean, didn't we all? But
Sometimes keeping the most powerful person on the battlefield engaged is a smart option.
just bad luck. Or maybe you just stayed too close.
Maybe. I don't know. All I do know is I've been going over the scenario pretty much since I woke up. And in my dreams. So, I won't be making the same mistake twice. I promise.
I don't want to die. I'm too young and I have too much ahead of me. I want to get through this. I want to go back to my life. And frankly, seeing anybody else fall would be traumatic. So whatever we need to do to make this work.
Yeah, of course.
We will all do better. Because we know what the alternative looks like.
One advance.
Well,
Bastian, I promise you won't die. It's why I got healing magic.
well, that makes me feel much better. I have total confidence.
That sounds a little bit like sarcasm, but that might just be how you speak.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. Magic can be unwieldy, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. What's next?
The ice giant.
Do we need to tell the people back at the shithole town that we came from that Sosie's gone? That his sister's gone, that their healer is gone?
It would be decent, yes. It would be the decent choice.
Do I know anyone? Like, I met people from the town, right? Met at least one person.
You talked to a couple people, yeah. But they did, however, tell you that they knew that a lot of their people were lost. They were just basically refugees.
Right.
Pretty much by this standpoint, Sosie going to them was a lost cause.
Right. I mean, we all knew that too. So. Okay. Well, I'll let them know anyway. He's gonna get up and walk away from the party, and he'll just cast sending and send it to some rando that he talked to in town. And just very short. Sosie's gone. So is his sister. The healer was working with Golnash.
Golnash is dead.
Golnash is dead, yeah.
First thing you're gonna get back is, hi, who is this?
They know, they would recognize my voice.
Okay, but
It is a part of the spell.
They know
That's
you
part of
very
the
well.
spell. That's understandable.
You'll just get a, I don't know who this is, but thank you for your information. I assume we are still not safe to go home, so we will be continuing on our own path. Thank you.
Yeah, a non-answer is probably a good enough answer for that, so I'll just go back. They didn't know who I was.
Why are you so offended?
Because it's Bastian.
I'm shocked that people who live in the desert do not know someone from the city.
Okay, well, they met me, so...
Did they?
Yeah, yes, that's why I was able to send the spell. Can't send it to someone I'm not familiar with. Okay. So we don't need to go back. We just need to go forward.
So at this point, you guys know that the position you need to go to, especially because someone grabbed that map, is south.
Should we move today?
I think we should. The sooner we get this done, the better.
Okay.
And clean up camp, take care of the fire, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
You've got it. So you guys get ready. Drachnos was in the carriage the entire time. And he helps get everything broken down. and then you all head out. In the middle of the desert, nothing gets you. You are fine for this night. We will go ahead to this night, and we will actually start with Kazimir. In their last episode, they pulled 3 items. They have a ring. They don't know very much about it. They pulled a spell scroll, and they pulled a long sword, which Kazimir grabbed. Kazimir, you hear some rustling in your bag.
Grabs his javelin on his back and like pulls open the bag, thinking it might be like a snake that like went in for like heat or something.
Yeah. When you look in, there is no longer a long sword in your bag. You do see, you see a scimitar though. Just like a curved sword.
Hello? I am not.
Hello.
Kazimir puts the javelin back, reaches for the scimitar very hesitantly. Once his full hand is around it, he like pulls it up.
What's your passive perception?
I believe it is 13.
It's enough. As you hold it up, you hear.
Looks
And then-
around to see if anybody like clocked that.
You drop it. After you look around, you hear, ow.
This sword has an Uru voice, I swear to fucking God.
Hey, look, I'm not doing this on purpose.
Kazimir puts a hoof on the hilt.
Ow.
Who is this? Looking like up and around.
Who is this? You didn't introduce yourself first. You hear it coming down by your foot.
Tell me who you are and I will tell you who I am.
You started this. That's not fair.
You laughed in my ear. I think you are the one who started.
You're the one who just picked me up. You didn't even ask me if I wanted to be picked up. You hear another like a little giggle, like this is entirely joking. Okay, fine, I'll go first. You beat it out of me, big guy. Hi. I'm Node.
How do you spell that?
Node.
My name is Kazimir.
That's a name.
As is yours.
Thanks. So, nice weather outside, huh?
Do you live in the sword? Are you the sword?
Oh, I am the sword. But I can also be something else. You wanna see?
You are magic?
It's a compliment. I wouldn't say it's magic, but I appreciate the thought.
Removes the hoof from the hilt.
Sloan, where are you going? Come back. I want to wait till Sloan gets back.
Okay.
No day? That's just night.
Bro! Fucking bro!
Oh.
Did you fucking look up this name?
No?
Oh, I thought you were like...
No day, as in no daylight. So
Yeah,
it's
no
just night.
day.
No
Oh,
day.
okay, I thought,
Night.
like, here's the thing. I picked a name, and I thought you, like, looked it up, and it's like, that means night. And I'm like, I didn't go that
means
far.
night.
You do that with your name, so that's why I was like...
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
It looks so good.
It looks so fucking
Is it
fresh.
comfy?
It's so soft.
Oh hell yeah!
It's so soft. So soft.
Love a soft hoodie.
Are you speaking in cursive right now?
We love it, soft hoodie.
It's so soft.
It's so soft. Oh my god.
It's actually glorious. One of these days, we're gonna have a scene that like completes without being interrupted, and I will die
One
happy.
day. But today is not that day.
That is
Not-
not that
not this
day. That's
episode.
gonna be the last episode of Tragedy of Theolosion.
When we're all fucking crying.
Yeah, because we can't interrupt because we're all sobbing. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool.
My God. Anyway,
Come back. That's fine. All right. So, anyway, continue.
I was just gonna do another plug for the Red Bubble.
Oh, do it. We'll just do that. Maybe.
Hey
someone will come
everybody. Shout out to Sloan and myself for making these fucking logos. Mostly Sloan. But they're so fresh. Look at that print. It's like perfect. It is the perfect representation of like what it like. Sometimes with prints, they like look kind of boy, but this is like they all look great. Wonderful.
It's really good. I
Very
gotta
happy
get
with
that
that.
tragedy in the Tragedy of Theolosion one in black because
Yes.
that is spicy.
Yes.
All right,
Anyway,
we were waiting for you to come back because this is some cool shit.
Oh, I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
No, you're totally good. We just plugged Redbubble
Fucking
again.
Kazimir lifts his hoof off the hilt.
What do you want me to do? What do you want to see?
What?
What do you want to see? I can change. I can do things. Just pick something.
Like another weapon or what? Show me what you actually are.
Are you sure about that?
Sure.
For the sake of our friendship, I'm going to say no.
What? This is so hard to do because I keep laughing. If you do not show yourself, I will not wield you.
That's rude.
I do not trust those who are not honest.
Okay. And you see this thing begin to sort of like wiggle and bump up and begin to like expand and contort. The color starts to change from that silver into more of like an earth tone, as a small like ball conglomeration appears with 8 eyes and 2 big strips of teeth and a long tongue. Ta-da! It's not great. Can I change back now?
It is your body. You can do as you wish.
Thank you. And that immediately, like, similar but backwards, begins to like spread out, and this time will become a battle axe. There we go. Oh, that's so much better.
And there's no mouth or tongue or anything on the weapons. It's just weapon.
Not visibly right now.
So you are the weapon.
I am the weapon. Yeah.
Picks up the axe.
That ground felt awful. It's like you can feel sort of at this point the handle is kind of sticky. Not too much, but just enough where your grip stays on. I got sand all over me. That wasn't fun.
If I use you, will you feel pain?
Use me nicely?
That is a difficult request for me.
It's really just good. Y'all shut up. I mean, I don't really, unless like, I don't know. Mimics don't really feel pain.
Mimic.
Mimic. What's a mimic? I'm not that.
Just throws the axe and walks away.
Wait! Kazimir! Come back! I'm sorry. I haven't had a lot of interaction! The ground is very gross and I'm getting sand all over me!
The storm's back.
Thank you.
Listen.
Mhm.
If you were to be traveling with us, and with me specifically, there are some things you must know.
Ground rules, got it.
First, do not insult me or my party. I will not take kindly. Is that clear?
What is an insult to you? What are our boundaries?
Do not deride, do not mock for what we are.
But my name's literally Mimic. Well, it's Node, but like Mimic is like what I am. So it's in my nature. Please don't put me back in the sand.
There is much to be said about what is in our nature. It is what we do that matters.
Okay, but you know I'm not meaning this mean, right? Because if I was meaning this mean, I could just, and then you see the eyes appear on the head of the axe, and then the mouth appear like on the large flat part. It's like, I could just do this. I could just bite people, but I don't. I just hang out.
Thanks for the
Hi,
raid.
welcome in.
Thanks for the raid.
We're adopting a mimic.
Mimic sword.
Mimic weapon. Is
Amazing.
talking.
We are adopting a mimic, and they're adorable.
All right. Do not insult me or my compatriots. That's really all. Honestly, it.
Oh, that's it?
That's really about it.
Okay.
Most of. We are not good people. I would not say.
Then why am I not allowed to make fun of you? Because then I assume you're gonna make fun of me too.
No.
You sure about that? The eyes look at you like this, y'all.
I will call you out if you do dumb shit. That is different from mocking.
I can call you out on dumb shit. Got it.
Yes,
Cool.
that is alright.
Are you gonna introduce me to everyone, or are we just gonna be the only two that talk?
Question.
Yeah.
Kazimir's been talking out loud this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't communicate telepathically.
Yeah, okay, great.
Looks.
Go ahead, Sloan.
It's nighttime, right?
Yeah.
Bastian
It's quiet.
is still awake.
Yeah.
There's a light in his tent.
You probably hear a good chunk of this.
He has a passive perception of 11. He is focused.
Ragna's passive.
Ragna absolutely hears it.
Ragna's
hears
Passive perception bullshit.
Melaena, I feel like Melena's just like sitting on like the nearest dune, but because of like shadow stuff, no one can see her, and she's just like, huh.
My passive is 16, so.
Oh yeah, you'd be fine. I feel like the thing that Bastian would hear is when he threw Node, and Node went, ah!
What the fuck? I don't care. Back to studying.
Yeah, but everyone else can hear, and you can react or come around accordingly. It's up to you.
I think Just hear. It's a two-way conversation. It's not like a one-way conversation.
Oh, you hear a very distinct voice. You hear the low of Kazimir and the high-pitched, weird
Cool.
middle voice. It seems really snarky, actually.
Amazing. I think Ragna is gonna get up and go towards that noise and go. Is everything okay over here?
Wait, turn me around. I want to see him. Who's that?
It just like muffles like the head of the axe.
I know you can't do that voice. And I've been actually listening to the conversation for the past like 5 minutes. So I know there are two voices. And I know you threw the axe. But there wasn't an axe when we saw it. So you want to tell me what the hell is going on? I'm just going to. What is happening? What is going on?
Hey, hello. Hi.
Ah, is it like the full eyes and mouth?
Well, if he turned them around, then yes.
Yeah.
Hi! And they all like blink like off, like not at the same time, all 8 eyes. Hi!
That is.
Hey, watch what you say. He said I can't be mean to you, so you can't be mean to me either.
Can I be observant? Can I be observant?
Is
Do
it
not be
mean?
judgmental.
Okay. Why does the weapon we found in the snake ziggurat have eyes, that many eyes, and a tongue?
Would you prefer less eyes? And then they get rid of one on each side?
I'm going to talk to a weapon, actually. I prefer the weapons I see to. I usually see them not having eyes and a tongue.
Oh, that's boring. And then just everything kind of morphs back into the weapon. There you go.
I find this honestly more disturbing because I don't know where it's coming from.
What is it? What is it?
It is a mimic.
No, mimic.
That is my accent.
I'm sorry.
They had okay.
But my name is Node. I have a name. You'll have to call me Mimic.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Node.
Hi.
I can't again. It's not going past me. I'm talking to a sentient weapon that's actually a mimic. Why are you a weapon?
Why are you a cat?
I was born this way.
I was born this way. That's a pretty good explanation.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to bed. I don't know how to deal with this. As a blacksmith, this feels weird. So I'm gonna.
Oh, you're a blacksmith?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
Thank
Don't try
you.
to sharpen me. That'll hurt.
I suspect as much, considering you're a mimic and not made of metals and other
Yeah, I'm not.
materials.
Yeah.
How are you doing with this, Kazimir?
It is something I did not expect.
I didn't expect a cow person either. But here we are. I just want snake people for a long time. This is nice though.
I'm a lion. There's a difference.
A cat and a lion? That's
Yes.
very similar. But okay, lion man.
Thank you. You're just standing there very still. I've never seen you this still before, Kazimir.
I do not know what to do.
I could not help you in any regard. There's inexperience, and then there's this.
You can introduce me to your friends. You can ask what I'm doing here. You can ask. You can ask more about me.
That is a very good point.
We are
What
good
are you doing
friends,
here?
maybe.
Why are you here?
Because you brought me here.
Oh no.
You mean
Colin,
before that?
You had to see that coming.
Yes.
You had to see that coming. Like, that was a setup.
Well, so how much do you know about mimics?
If you say mimic like that again, I'm going to cast you into that hole that we made with the ziggurat.
Oh, is that what that was? Is that where it was? Fuck that. Okay, never mind. So how much you know about mimics?
I totally do not even know what a mimic is.
Cool. So mimics. Basically, we're a kind of nymph that no one likes because we do weird, creepy things. Like we become like objects because that's kind of our thing. Not a lot of us can talk. It's weird. But this is either a gift or a curse, and I can't tell which. And you're gonna say a curse, and I'm beating you to it. But I really kind of want to be like the other nymphs. I kind of want to be like human at some point. So I'm trying to learn how to do that. So I went from like chess to I went to like a backpack. Those suck. That it hurts. To try to put things in there. Fuck that. And then weapons. Weapons have been really good so far.
Do you have a preference?
A weapon?
Yes.
No, it's just kind of what I'm feeling that day. That's why he put me in the box.
Turn it into the longsword again,
Can you say please?
please.
That was a good one. And Rockwell will now see the bubbling and the changing and the stretching that will become the longsword. And as it finally finishes, it goes, okay, there we go. Ta-da! You need me to balance better? I can put more like weight lower or higher. It's up to you.
It's all right.
All right. No, I am perfect.
You are fine the way you are.
It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thanks. Now introduce me to everyone else.
All right. Hold on. March is back to camp.
Ooh.
I'm really surprised that he's actually doing this. Wow.
On the way. Is Ragna still there?
Yeah, Ragna's not left.
Ragna, if you and Node are up to it, perhaps we can do some combat training.
Sure. As long as Node is okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally good. I'm totally good with it.
This is, and I expected magical in this journey. This is not at all what I thought that was going to go.
But I am magical. Like in your heart kind of way. Like that little feeling where you're missing something. That's me.
Goodbye, Ragna, and walks away.
Bye, Ragna!
He actually said goodbye. He didn't just walk away.
I know! And all it took was a fucking magical sword telling him what to do.
Walks over towards Melaena, wherever she might be.
She's just been fucking sitting on top of a dune, just watching the entire interaction, being like, "What the fuck is that?"
Goes over to the like the tent that has been set up for Melaena, looks inside and sees she's not there, and is like, "Where the fuck?" Oh,
What's their name?
Melaena.
Melaena! Melaena! is just gonna keep screaming.
Okay. Hold on.
Melaena will shadow travel closer, like outside, through the side of the tent.
I have a second roll.
Aw, now there's another roll. This is bullshit. What's up?
That mimic has a set of lungs.
She knows.
She
I
knows
was listening.
much.
How does she know?
You're not quiet.
That was the next rule, is that you should try to be a little bit quieter. Not
Why?
all the time. Like, right now is okay. Not
Okay.
great, but okay. But if we are doing something rather important, probably best to just
Oh, be a sword.
be, yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Node. I'm a mimic. Nice to meet ya.
Yes.
What are you?
A demigod.
Oh, we got a special one over here. Hi. That wasn't mean. It was observant, as Ragna says.
I don't like this president.
So, are you going to keep it?
It.
I forgot, what are your
Yeah.
pronouns?
Half of me was like sword, axe, but like no. I am just them. They. It is right. I got you, sword. That.
But you're an axe right now.
Oh shit. Wait.
They have their own.
No, they changed to a sword. They changed to a sword. No, remember? They changed to a sword, so you
Yes,
made them
yes,
go
yes.
fast.
Yes. They have their own ambitions, like the rest of us.
Well, I'm not the one wielding them, so
But like you
I'm-
could. That's rude. I could become a dagger. Those little sneaky things you guys use.
I use other weapons.
Okay, what else?
She just rests her hand on her belt where she has a short sword sheathed.
Oh, that's boring.
More boring than a dagger.
Well, at least like daggers are like meant to be small. Short swords are just like, I'm here in the middle. Like an average sword. When you could have, and it starts to transform in your hand again. And it turns into probably the largest fucking like warhammer that it could possibly make right now. It's the right size for Kazimir. Ta-da! Ow! That hurt. Are you impressed?
Are you okay?
Are you impressed?
Are you asking me or Kazimir?
I'm asking you.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
Almost like a deflate. It's gonna go ahead and like deflate the major part and then go back into a long sword and go, ha! Knew it.
This reminds me of fucking Soul Eater so much. I was like,
Shit! I didn't even think of that.
it was in the back of my head this entire time, and I finally figured it out.
Fucking weebs.
So, I will ask you a question later, Node. But this is Node. That's why I came here. I would like to talk to you at another time, but not right now.
Oh, I can be quiet.
You're going to be on my person anyway.
Exactly did you find this weapon?
This was in Golnash's lair.
Right. Very well then.
So, another compatriot for us, hmm?
We seem to be picking up a lot of those lately.
Oh, do you? Oh, am I still supposed to be quiet?
You can talk. It is okay.
Getting mixed signals. So I'm just gonna be quiet.
Speak. I did not ask you to be quiet. I was just conflicted about a different matter.
Oh, I'll be quiet then. I'll just shut up. I will be the most quiet sword you've ever owned.
Speak, for God's sakes.
I am right now.
Okay.
They seem to be
All right. Well.
eccentric.
I have to go.
I just love seeing Andre losing his shit, having to stay in character.
So hard.
Alright.
I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Can I say goodbye?
Yeah.
Goodbye, Melaena!
It just screams.
Yes. Storms over to Bastian's tent.
Did you knock?
Oh, there's a door.
No, there's not. I was wondering if I missed a visual cue because I didn't. Okay, keep going.
It just like opens the door.
Oh.
That is a dangerous game to play with Bastian, dude.
I don't think Kazimir's thinking right now.
Okay, so do we want to roll on the D100 to see if Drachnos is there? No.
Drachnos has been. Bastian has not. They haven't
He's
been doing
busy.
that.
He's busy.
Bastian is like sitting back to the door, cramed over his books, and just like jumps as the flap opens, and then like spins around and like grabs something off his face. Like what the fuck? What? I'm busy.
You may speak now.
What? Do you need something?
Serenity, don't do this to him. Don't do
No, please. This. What is it now?
There's a very soft whisper and goes, I think they're mad at me.
For my sake, speak to Bastian.
Hi to Bastian. Don't be mad at me.
Not mad.
Okay. Magic sword.
Magic man?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, then we understand each other. Cool.
Yes, I am a mage, if that's what you're asking. Hi.
Hi.
Are you giving it to me?
No, I'm
No,
just
he's mad at me. Don't give.
No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
I am in the middle of studying, so if you two are fine and done with introductions, please leave my tent.
What you studying?
Spells.
Oh, that's boring.
Then you'll have no interest in staying here. So.
But But look what I can do. It changes into like a quarterstaff with like a little like bulb at the top, but the bulb is like all of the eyes combined to make it look like a little like magical sphere.
Would Bastian be able to tell what this is?
The mimic?
Yeah, like would he be able to tell it's a mimic?
No, there's been no like no one has ever said anything about a mimic becoming like weapons or talking. You know mimics exist, and you know they normally become like household items or like literally houses.
A shape-changing magic sword. Who can turn
Close.
into a quarterstaff. Thank you for patronizing me.
They are a mimic.
A mimic.
Ta-da!
That's
Thought you
interesting.
might be interested. Also, no, I did want to meet you.
I did. Hi.
Hello. That's unusual.
Thanks. You too. Wait, that wasn't meant to be mean.
No,
Don't throw me, Kazimir.
No, it wasn't mean. I'm far beyond average, so it's fine. How long have you been a weapon?
Off and on for like the past couple years.
Interesting.
For a while, I was like household items, but then I want to be an adventurer, so the next step is weapons.
This is very interesting. I'm doing something right now.
Node was very insistent, so I will leave you to your work.
Node. Nice to meet you. I'm Bastian.
I like the way that Kazimir says it. Bastian.
Then you can say it that way.
Nice. And I'm not making fun of you, Kazimir. It has a nice ring to it. Bastian. And then it's just gonna start repeating it in a bunch of different like tones.
Okay, good night.
All right. Good night.
Bye. Goodbye, Bastian.
Oh, I regret that.
Seems nice.
He
He seems nice.
Right.
turns his
Those are
back,
the-
looks over his shoulder before he puts his glasses back on.
What a dork.
What a nerd.
Damn, called out.
He goes back to studying.
Kazimir pulls away from the tent and is like, those are the other champions.
Champions? You guys are champions? Of what? The desert?
No, we are not from here. We are
can tell.
champions of the gods.
Oh. Which ones?
I am Apollo's.
You wait, hold up. You're Apollo's? I don't think so. Don't throw me on the ground.
I'm Apollo's. Ragna is Hephaestus's. Melaena is the demigod of Nyx, but also in alliance with her brother Hypnos, I think. No,
That's her brother?
yes.
Wow, that's a tough family.
I have no place in the matter. And Bastian is being punished by Hera. So
Oh no. That's not good.
there is what did Bastian say? There is a lot of tea.
There's a lot of what?
Tea. It means it's like gossip.
There's a lot of tea?
Mm.
Like
It's like drama.
green peppermint? Chamomile?
Never mind.
Oh, it's new lingo.
Yes.
Got it.
Hello there.
I'm hip. I'm with the word.
How
I
old
wasn't
are you?
surrounded by snakes for a while and didn't get to talk any common. So I'm up to date. How old am I?
Yes.
I don't know. I've been around for a while, but to be honest, I didn't know a mimic that turned into a clock, so it's not like I really could tell the time.
Fair. Well, regardless, you will be working with us.
Okay, so
Right.
what god am I champion of?
That is not how it works.
No, it sounds like that's like a group thing, and now that I'm involved, I feel like I also deserve that. Is there like a contract? I could turn into a pen.
I could take you to meet Apollo. Would you like that?
You know Apollo?
He chose me. Of course I know him.
Oh, we're still going with that. Okay. I mean, just polish me up first. I got sand all over me. But like later, I'm nervous right now.
Alright. Perhaps later we will do another set of introductions.
Yeah, that was a lot.
We are a lot.
Yeah, you are. No offense, you're a little overwhelming.
That is an observation. Yes.
Yeah, I said no offense.
Yes.
So don't be offended. So cool.
I'm not.
We're gonna leave that there, and let's go ahead and let's take a 10-minute break because
10-minute
everyone's
break.
met No Day, and that was a whole lot of shit.
God.
Holy shit!
My God.
All right, everybody, we're going on a 10-minute break. Everybody get a drink. Go
potty, do what you need
get some
to do.
food. Keep
Order
your
your Red
blood sugar
Bubble.
up. Order your red bubble.
What are your red bubble?
And we'll be right back. Let me make sure I don't hit the end stream
That'd be a really good
button.
idea.
All right, bye
That'd be the
everybody.
best.
Goodbye. We'll be right back. Bye. Hello.
Hello.
Bye.
Welcome back from our break. I hope you drink some water, got some stuff. Dep's over here showing merch.
So Christian.
So is Christian. All right. So now that we are back, who wants to go next with the RP?
Oh,
You pointing like this.
I'm trying.
Show me where you're pointing.
I'm pointing upwards.
Oh, cool. Everyone's above you. I don't Oh, right on
One
the
person's
overlay. Got
on
it.
the overlay.
Yeah, we can do Bastian.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
No, I know. We were looking in Discord, and like literally Christian's at the very bottom, so like everyone's above him. So he's like,
Right.
I'm like, any of them. Okay, cool.
Bastian stays up very, very late, long after everyone else has gone to sleep. Just like
Absolutely.
studying, and then once he gets to the point where he like can't keep his eyes open anymore, he just like turns out the lantern and just rolls over into the bed.
Xerxes has been just kind of watching, just hanging out the entire time. As you go to roll back, he quickly gets up from off your roll, your bedroll, and goes, "Brah," runs off, and goes back to his spot. But you notice he kind of moves a bit closer to you before he lays down. Closer than normal.
I better not wake up with feathers in my mouth.
Bird glare.
I close my eyes.
Wow. So as you roll into a deep sleep, instead of your normal dreamlike state where you think of, all the great times you have in Marinade, your life back in Marinade, the good times. This time instead, you wake up and you are in a fainting couch that is white, like velvet, with gold lining in an almost completely white marble room. When you look up, you actually see a giant painted portrait that has beautiful paintings, like the church ceiling paintings level. It has different people that you sort of recognize. Like, you've seen Apollo. You see Apollo up there. Just like a small little corner piece. But you also see quite a few nymphs that are also smaller in the corners, and as you go more in the middle, you see these creatures with large white feathered wings. They look almost humanoid, but they seem to have like bigger features. There's a couple of them with a beautiful turquoise skin. And right in the middle, you see someone you recognize, but not quite the same way they are now. You see a much younger version of Hera.
Oh. Now it makes sense. Hello?
As you get up, the walls are covered in paintings as well. They also have hair on them. You see, it looks like a clean, flat sheet of marble is used for the floors. There are like no cracks or anything. It's just one piece of marble. As you look over, you see a beautiful large plush bed with pillows that are different colors of golds, purples, blues, and greens. And as you look further, you see two double doors, French doors, that are opened inwards. The curtains are sort of waving with the wind, and you see someone familiar looking out of the balcony with a certain little feathered friend right next to them.
He'll walk casting a curious glance at surroundings, but he'll walk towards the porch.
As you get to the porch area and you look out, you see the most astounding visual that you've ever seen in a landscape. So below is a giant courtyard where all of the plant life is a platinum color. The flowers are certain colors depending on the flower. However, what would be greenery is all going to be platinum. As you look out further, you see what is the edge of this. This is a very large mansion, but you see an edge. And as you look further out, a few hundred meters ahead of you, you see another area like this with a very large building atop of it. But it's a floating island with water cascading off the side. And further out, you see another one, and another one, and another one. And all you see around it are the sky and cloud.
So is this your summer cottage, or?
No, this is mine. Just mine.
Are those real platinum?
Well, by your standards, I suppose. Not good enough to be used for jewelry or anything of the sort. At least not for me.
Well, I find that mortals would be quite happy with anything even remotely approaching jewelry level for the gods. So I don't suppose I can bring a leaf back with me.
I've already given you a gift. You are one of the few mortals who has seen Mount Olympus.
Oh, this is the gift.
This is the gift. You should be honored. And she's looking out again. She's in her normal garb. However, she's an even larger size at this point. She's probably closer to about 8 foot tall.
Fuck me. Suppose you're comfortable here. Is
Enough.
that really Olympus?
It is. Each god likes their own area. And over, and she points in a direction that is blocked by the building itself, is our palace, where all our dealings happen. All those fancy little paintings you see, our courtyards. That's the main entrance area.
Well, I do like knowing things that people don't, so. Thank you. I guess.
You're welcome. I guess.
It still feels wrong.
What?
That. Thank you. You're
So-
welcome. I don't. It's weird.
Well, I'm surprised you've been trying. To be honest, when I first talked to you, you had little to no hope. Look at you now.
I mean, I as a prospect had little to no hope, or I as a person had little to no hope. Because as a person, I feel like the chart that tracks both my hope as a prospect and my hope as an individual has kind of crossed at this point.
I was going to say, as a person.
Great. I'm not
But I guess
feeling
both.
not feeling particularly optimistic about this after that. I'm sure you saw it.
Oh, you passing out 3 times? I did. But, you know what else I noticed?
What?
You were protecting someone. Actually, a couple people.
If they die, I die. And I have far too much left in my future to pass away in buttfuck nowhere, middle of the desert. So.
Oh, you haven't been to buttfuck nowhere. That's further north. That was a joke. Now.
That's funny.
You didn't laugh. That was not sincere.
I guess
already
this
lied
isn't
to
a
me.
social calling?
More so. Walk with me. As she begins to start walking out of the room that you guys entered.
Your legs are longer than mine.
Then keep up! And then there's Xerxes behind both of you, like running to try to catch up.
Oh, I love that bird.
As you guys walk through, the entire house is like this. You do see passing nymphs, the most beautiful people you have seen in your life. Yes. Yes, exactly.
I know.
Keep your eyes forward. They are not for you.
Fine.
And you guys begin to walk out. There are very long, large corridors. You take a couple of turns, and you end up at another double door, which leads to the courtyard. Which is much bigger now that you're looking at it in person, face to face. And she begins to lead you through what is almost like a hedge mage. Touch one of the leaves if you wish.
Okay. He reaches out and touches one.
As you touch it, it feels exactly like plant matter.
Ah! What?
I know. Go ahead. Take one.
He'll pluck a leaf.
It's worth nothing to you, but it's pretty. What, do you wish a laurel of that? I could have that arranged.
I already have a headband from you, thank you.
It is quite lovely.
It's come in handy.
Good. Now, you seem bewildered and upset. Talk to me.
I mean, do you actually, like, care? Do you actually...
I didn't say that, I just said to talk.
What do you want me to talk about?
I don't know how bad mortal ears are. You have been exhausted and bewildered and you're tiring yourself out. Talk about it.
I'm trying to find a solution to a problem.
Very simple.
Yes.
You are a talented mage
Thank you. Yes.
using ridiculous magic.
What?
Your magic makes pretend things. You're powerful. Why don't you use your magic to create real things?
I mean, I can make explosions. Those are as real as anything else.
Yes, but you seem to like to specialize in those little tricks that got you in trouble. You haven't seemed to be using them very much. They're not very good in real life, are they?
They were useful in my real life before this.
That is not real life. You're simply just a doll with extra money being plucked around by mother and father.
And now I'm a doll being plucked around by Hera. Big difference.
It's a better choice. After all, 1, it's me. 2, you're in the real world now, sweetheart. And she continues forward. You do notice as you're coming around the corners, you see that there are many nymphs also working in the garden, pruning, trimming. They're still extremely attractive. They all seem to have a very similar look. They all seem to have like the silver hair that Hera does. Different skin tones, but they all have a little symbol of Hera somewhere on their clothing, and a similar symbol imprinted right here on their arm.
Fine. Yes, I'll be honest, I've been thinking about that as well. I haven't been spending a whole lot of time doing that sort of thing. I've spent a lot of time in other people's brains.
You did?
Yes. Yes. Good lord. Yes.
And?
It's horrifying. Frankly, kind of a bummer.
Just imagine if you were able to go into your own mind. Oh, how depressing that would be.
I can go in my own mind. I enjoy being there. Actually,
oh, can
thank you.
Really? Have you seen how many barriers your friends have had?
Yes.
Do you imagine you have no barrier?
No.
No barriers, or no... You expect to have barriers?
No, why would I have barriers? I'm not into any of that. No one else does what I can do. No one else even comes close. Do you know something?
You seem to not. So I might.
You're just being cryptic.
That's kind of my job.
If you know something, then tell me. Otherwise, this teasing is nonsense. There would be no reason for me to have barriers in my brain. This is a ridiculous conversation. We're getting off track. I was saying that I've been thinking about more of that. Understanding that tongues has been an obnoxious problem, frankly, to have to deal with.
It does hurt to be mortal and only know a few languages. I'm surprised you don't know more. Did your parents not pay enough?
Languages were interesting, but I learned enough to understand linguistic roots, and that was about where my interest ended. I know enough to understand you and the rest of the gods.
You understand me?
Well, I can hear and comprehend the words that you're saying, if not the meaning behind them. But understanding the meaning behind them is not my fault, it's yours.
I'm speaking common. Of course you can understand me.
Oh, no, I meant celestial.
Oh. I suppose we can talk in that as well. I'd like to hear your accent anyway. Is it any good?
Yes, it's perfect.
I would love for you to roll a history.
That's not fair. I'm bad at history.
How are you bad at history?
I'm not bad at history.
Okay.
I just don't have proficiency in history.
I was gonna say, you've been rolling 24s in history. How could you?
You know what? That's fair. That's a 29.
Without a proficiency?
It's an intelligence stat.
What's your intelligence?
+5. I'm a Weejord.
+5. But you don't have proficiency? How'd you get a 29?
No, I rolled a 14. No, a 19. Sorry, I can't do math. That's why.
Oh,
I can't
24.
do math.
20. You got a 24.
No, it's a 19. It's 14 plus 5. Serenity, stay with me. It's a 14 plus 5.
You said 29.
I know what I said, Serenity. I can't do math.
This episode's brought to you by math. We don't have that.
I can't do that.
The important part is that you tried.
Please, I'm asking this from the bottom of my heart. Please don't clip this. I can't. I can't.
Death, get on it and go.
Go. Get him,
It's
Death.
okay. It's
I
okay.
mean, now that you mention it,
Hey, clip it. Okay, do it. Stop, someone. So, what was that number again?
19.
Okay. 19. Your accent's pretty fucking good. And she goes, not bad. You could be better. Not bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is the other thing. You have taken me out. I have spent years, 21 years, learning how to shark the fuck out of any single person on the street or in the fucking Colosseum through like interacting with them. I'm 100%, I know how it works forwards and backwards. It's like a language that you can't have a good accent in unless you are a native speaker. And then you picked me up and dropped me here, and I have no idea. I'm figuring them out, but
Admitting is the first step to success.
ugh.
And that wasn't even cryptic. That was just a straightforward fact. Bastian, you know everything, I guess. Do you know what I'm the goddess of? Does Salome know?
Sloan has a pretty good idea.
You can look it up. You can cheat. He would know.
marriage. Marriage.
I know
No,
I know it's marriage and horny.
Marriage and horny.
Marriage and horny?
Learn.
It's me, Hera, the goddess of horny.
These are the words we've chosen.
The matriarch of the gods is absolutely a deity.
So I just need to make a sound clip now of my Hera going, "Hello, it is me, Hera, the goddess of da 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 da, and horny."
It doesn't say what the fuck she does. Come here, come on.
It literally says it when you look up just Hera. It's right here.
Goddess of women, marriage, family, and childbirth. Yes, I know what you're the goddess of.
Wow, we're a mess tonight.
I do. I did. I was just second guessing myself because I have anxiety.
Oh no, mood, me too.
So, are you making any connections? Go over it again slowly. Women, family, marriage, fertility.
Fertility, yes.
That's not the one I wanted you to focus on.
Oh, marriage? Marriage?
I want you to
Women?
look at me. I want you to look at me seriously and tell me at any point in your life you think you're actually going to get married.
Well, no, that's why I said it with a shocked expression.
Family.
Family.
Mm-hmm. How much time did your mother and father spend with you? And she continues to walk.
I think you have a fairly good idea of how much time my mother and father spent with me.
No, go ahead, explain it.
Oh, okay.
Since you know everything.
None. Not much. Very little.
Family is not always the people who bring you into this world or you're connected by blood. Take a moment. I know you're processing.
These people?
They've treated you better than your actual family has so far, haven't they?
I don't know. My family gave me money.
You've gained a little money from your
and
adventures. You
tutors.
earned it. Isn't that lovely? Go off, depth.
That's
Shit.
true. That is true.
It's not like Melaena gave fucking Bastian money at any point in time. No,
He's
absolutely not.
just dense. Give him a second.
You've earned your money. They've given you affection. They actually care about you. They're taking their time to make sure you're okay. Doesn't this sound like something you haven't had before?
It sounds like the setup to a backstabbing.
Give me 3 facts about each of your parents right now other than their names and how much they make and what properties they own.
Mother likes Chablis. And doesn't get up before 1 p.m. And
For the smartest man that you've ever met, you are very straining to figure out what to say.
oh, well, just because you don't know, it's not. Family is a business that you're born into.
Are you the mafia?
I mean,
Family can be something where you can gain power from, absolutely. I mean, look at what Zeus did. King of all Olympus now. Because of this. And there's just a ring with a fat rock on it. Because of this. This is the power he's gained through family. Now, what have I gained in return?
A dead weight?
I was going to accept that or a migraine, so you're correct. This is what happens with just family you're stuck with.
Who are your friends, Hera?
Who are my friends? Why do you think that I push you so hard to have your own?
That's not. Who? Genuinely, who? Who are your friends?
Wow, you are as dense as Athena's cakes. That woman cannot cook, if that explains anything.
Thanks for the raid.
Thanks for the raid!
I'm talking to Hera, my goddess.
I'm talking to Hera!
I mean, well, you're talking a big game about family and people who care about you.
No, I'm talking about people who care about you. Do you need me to spell it out? I'll even use common letters if it makes it easier.
He just rolls his eyes.
The position I'm in does not allow me to have any friends or family that genuinely care about me. And she has stopped and now is continuing to walk again further into this maze. I thought there was someone who cared. And look where he's at now. Actually, don't look. He's probably in a closet somewhere. With a nymph. My own children? Disgusted. This is what power does to you. You should be careful. Luckily, I have many adoring worshippers. And that's what I have. I also have my flowers. And I have my birds. The only things that I ever cared about in my life, you disrespected. Wholeheartedly. You can see why I was a tad upset.
I guess I can.
Good. You're not as dense as I thought. So, as the goddess of family, my job here, and I suppose it's more volunteer work for you. I'm here to help you, to make sure you don't lead a life that you'll regret. And if you have to take a few punishments and beatings along the way for it, as the immortals say, it builds character.
I don't know how to do this.
How to do what?
What you're suggesting.
I can't ask you to just simply do it. You'll fuck it up. But why don't you just take it one step at a time? I mean, the help that you've offered Kazimir, that's meant the world to him. And you are the one who offered. Doesn't that sound like you care about someone enough to see them happy?
It was just solving a problem.
A problem about someone you cared about.
I don't know. His sadness is oppressive.
It is. You are not incorrect. In fact, you are right.
Okay. Well, frankly, I don't know where to go from here. I'll have to change my study schedule.
Why don't I help you? Just a little bit. Let me take away that childish magic of yours and help you learn more insightful magic.
Okay.
That is the first time you've just outright said yes without causing a fit. It's nice.
You've caught me in a very vulnerable moment, so.
She's going to offer her hand and with her other hand gesture to a large gazebo that is made entirely of golds and platinums. There are jewels encrusted, very large ones, sizable, around the entryway. And in the middle, there is a small little, very similar to the basin you saw from the original basin that you talked to her in to gain your powers. There's a small basin made out of a very dark metal upon a stone pedestal.
She offered her hand?
Mm-hmm. Her very large hand. She'll go ahead and she will lead you up a couple steps. She will walk slow, so you don't have to try to rush. And she will go ahead, guide you to one side of the basin, and she'll meet you on the other. Xerxes follows in suit very quickly. I need you to go ahead and place your hand in the basin.
Second verse, same as the first. Places his hand in the basin.
The water that's inside, originally very clear, begins to glow a light turquoise color. And she will lean over, just pluck a feather from Xerxes. You hear a little thing's fine. And she'll go ahead, she will kiss the end of it and let it go into the basin. And immediately from your fingertips flowing up, you can feel almost every single nerve ending as this intensive cooling sensation begins to run up your arms. It doesn't hurt. It's just chilly. Your skin begins to have goosebumps in it. And it goes up your arm and it leads all the way to your spine, where it expands through your body and up through your head. As it reaches your forehead, as it hits your eyes, your vision begins to blur. And in front of you, you see the blurred vision of the scene in front of you. However, you see signs of all of the illusions. Every memory that your illusion magic has caused just begins to drop into the basin from your vision. After all that cycled through, the last one being Hera confronting you for the first time and turning Xerxes from the turkey into a peacock. They all fall, and immediately all of the cold drains from your body through your arm into your hand out the basin. You still remember everything, but now your head is much clearer.
And that was that a detox? Is this a
That's a good word for it.
world's most effective juice cleanse? I've never actually had one that works.
They're all fake.
Weird that it happens through your hand. What?
Oh, all juice cleanses are fake.
I know.
Believe me, Aphrodite has tried to get me on many of them.
Tragic. Aphrodite is the goddess of love. Why would she even need them?
She does it to care for other people. She'll find a fad, and she'll begin to exert the energy and the knowledge she knows in the most caring way. But sometimes love is blind, and she doesn't quite... How should I say this? Follow up with thoughts. She doesn't think. Very beautiful. And very well-meaning. Most of the time.
What did that do?
Well, all the illusion magic that's been stuck in your brain, giving you that foggy feeling as you were studying, that is gone. You will now be able to focus better on your true magic. Learn a thing or two.
I will learn everything.
Well, if you keep doing what you did last time, I can't keep cleansing all the information out of you.
Thank you. Really? I do
You're
feel
welcome.
better. Yeah, I do feel better. So.
Good. And you did well. You are doing well. However, I will still call you out if you do anything stupid.
I passed out 3 times. I hardly count that as doing well.
You are frail, if that helps.
Yes. Very frail.
Not in mind, just physically.
Yeah. Well.
Maybe rely on certain people and birds more. And Xerxes is just sitting there, looking at both of you.
I will try.
That's all I can ask for. Now, next time I see you, if you have not done what I've asked, we will have talks. The talks will not be gracious.
All right.
After all, I've been lenient with that tiefling. Kind person, but you can do better.
Not out here in the middle of the sand. My options are very limited.
I suppose. She's going to turn around and leave the gazebo.
Do I just stay here?
No, follow me.
Oh.
She just stops, turns around.
I didn't know if this was the end of the dream.
She will lead you back to the room, and then she will present you with the fainting couch. Now go back to rest.
The fainting couch is that's hilarious. It's a nice touch.
I don't understand the joke.
That's okay. Just for me then. I'm gonna sit down, look at her one last time. All right. And lays back.
And as you fall asleep, you're lulled into a dreamless sleep. And then the next day following, as nothing else seems to happen, you wake up, your head is clear, and you are now free to, I don't know, maybe learn something new.
What the fuck? That's it. That's it for his scene.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, everyone else has stuff they want to do too. Who's gonna talk to who?
It's a travel day, right?
You travel during the day. Nothing's gonna happen. You guys are heading directly south. You've kind of traversed this part of the area before. It's very easy for you. So we can either do as traveling, or when your rest starts for the night, when you set up camp, you can do whatever you need to do.
I have stuff I want to do, but I also just had a really long ass scene, so I don't want to take away from anybody else. So if anybody else wants to do stuff, please. Anybody?
Let's see.
I'm just sitting here eating peaches. You guys do what you need to do.
I'm
I don't
just
remember what I wanted
here
to do.
eating peaches.
Where do
Dude, these are delicious. They were from my local farmers market.
Peach season, baby.
Peach season.
Give me that shit. Want it.
Did you want to do a training session now, Andre?
We can do it. Yeah, that's right. That's another thing
Do
we're
it,
gonna
baby.
do. Yeah.
Go on.
Do you want to have this be the next morning?
Sure.
Okay.
If you guys are gonna do that, does anyone? Because I know Ragna had maybe something to talk with. Did you get to talk to Bastian yet?
No, I have not. No.
I was gonna say during a watch, you guys could do that. I was gonna say, and then.
Oh, we
I'm
can,
looking for
you can have
things
the
that have-
combat during the watch if you want it.
Oh yeah, that is completely fine. I just want to not skip over too many days because you only got a couple before you get there. I'm just looking
works,
through
baby.
what everyone has told me they want to
We
do.
got a list.
Where did we put that, by the way?
That's the lounge, I think.
It's all yeah. So pretty much we got conversations between characters is basically it. If you guys think of anything else, let me know. I will be here. And during your training, unless otherwise stated, no day will be quiet.
Okay. Before you run away from me, Kazimir walks up to Ragna partway during the watch. It's probably close to sunrise at this point. I'm gonna say Kazimir walks up. So, are you up for the spar?
I think that catches Ragna off guard, and you notice that he hasn't been watching fully this watch, and he's been mainly been focusing on he's been fiddling with his gloves, which still have a few some of them have been sewed up through the travels, but several of them still have open claw exposure marks. And he goes, I think that would be yes. Let's do that.
Leave your sword here.
Okay. And Ragnar would just put the sword next, stab it into the sand. Just dig it in just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kaj leads Ragna towards that same valley that Bastian was practicing in. And then pulls out fucking Node for a second. I'm sorry. Maybe another time.
Aww.
I promise. And Kazimir just kind of motions.
Just come at you. Okay. And he'll walk around Kazimir like a lion does.
Yeah.
You kind of spray.
Similarly, like rotating.
Yeah. And then he'll dash forward. And I think his objective is to knock him down, so he will be trying to grapple him.
Okay. I think Kosh is also going to try and grapple.
Amazing.
So. Athletics, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you get?
I gotta look at my sheet because I'm not on my sheet. Like a fool, I was looking at what I want to talk about. That's an 18.
Okay, you got a 15, so you managed to have him stumble backwards a little bit, and he just kind of like shakes it off, and like there's a look of like as he like looks back at Ragna, like definitely in like battle ready mode, but also like, you know what I want you to do.
I think Ragna sees that, and like when he tackles Kazimir, you can see that the last time they sparred, his like the slit of his eye wasn't like thin or like it wasn't danger ready, but this time it's thin. Mm-hmm. And when he realized, like he like takes a step back when Kazimir's like on the floor in the sand, he takes like a deep breath in and out, and the eye relaxes just a bit, and like he flexes his hand and like kind of slightly puts it behind his back. He just doesn't like want that. Mm-hmm. and he's like, you can see how unsure he is, and he's very not scared but like aware.
Kosh is smiling in this moment as Ragna like hides his like hand. At least you get to hide yours. Be proud of it.
And I think at that, hearing that, Ragna just like doesn't like gets out of like a battle ready stance and has like one hand in the other, and again he's doing that motion of like rubbing the fingertips with the other hand. Is there ever a moment in your rages where you lose yourself?
Explain what you mean by lose yourself.
In the battle, there was a lot going on, and with every hit I took, my thoughts became less and less about what I should do next, and more of survive, make sure you stay alive, make sure the danger isn't dangerous anymore, stop them at whatever cost. And eventually there were no thoughts at all, and nothing but emptiness. And I've never had that before. A clear mind. A too clear mind with one goal. A goal I was not proud of.
Why?
I think he just sits in this. He stands there for a moment, and then just plops down and sits on the sand, and, like almost curls up, but like has like one leg up, and his tail like curls into like his hand. Because it was a voice I'd never heard before. And that voice was very adamant, very strong, and direct. And it meant ending a life. Ending several, to make sure none of us lost ours.
I've told you of the chickens, yes. I grew up. Did you ever experience something like that before where you had to kill an animal?
No.
Kazimir kind of sidles up beside him and just kind of like kneels down to the ground. I can imagine that it's difficult to reckon with. It is when one fights, there is a sense of course, survival. But there is also a recognition of another soul when two people fight. Of any sort, not just physical. It is important to remember when it is to better yourself, like we are, and when it is to survive. There is no guilt in doing what you must, especially in the defense of those who you call your own. Do you understand?
And I think as you've been talking, Ragna has been like, Ragna's eye has been like intensely looking at you. And like, it's like a kid that doesn't know what to say or how to respond to anything in the moment right now. Is he's like, he had said that like I was thinking one thing that minute. Now it's like he's thinking a mile a minute of several things, and I think it like that again, that shaky eye stills, like becomes suddenly still, and he goes, "I want to protect you all. I don't want to see any of you go down like that again. Part of me wishes that we don't have to do these things. But I know the world doesn't work that way. I just want to know I don't want to lose myself in whatever that was again. That rush, that moment. Everything slows down, and you make a choice. It made me. I felt sick, but at the same time, it felt nice to make just one decision and not be paralyzed by choice.
It is good that you recognize that feeling for what it is and not get drunk off of it. You are very astute, I think. And that is something I admire about you. But there is a time to think and a time to act. And I think you're learning when it is to do both. And you will not get it right every time. You are learning.
I think getting it wrong, I don't know what that will do to me.
Kazimir gets back up. Faces Ragna. Up. Let's move. Come on.
Ragna will get to his feet as fast as he can.
Goes back to the position that he was in before. Same sort of like ready pose. Kind of gives a deep snort of like, come on.
And after a moment of him just standing there, he doesn't like move his fingers anymore. He just takes like a deep breath in, shakes his hands, gets in a stance, and then charges. Again, attempting to attack his center of gravity.
Mm-hmm. Roll again, yeah.
That is a 15 for me.
That is a 22. As Ragna goes to go and like attack the center of gravity again, Kazimir, having seen this before, like is like prepared this time and like seizes both of Ragna's arms and throws him to the ground.
Face first, then there's a pile of sand. It's just.
Mm-hmm. Puts a hoof on top of his body. You failed. Now what?
I get back up and try it again.
While I have you pinned?
Make an athletics check.
Yeah.
That's a 24.
23.
Ragna quickly like spins and shuffles and gets Kazimir in a leg lock and forces him down onto the ground.
Slams to the ground as just like a splash of sand like comes up.
And I think Ragna smiles at that and just like releases the lock, moves towards Kazimir's like front, and then offers a hand to help him up.
Takes it. What's up? Good. We'll work more.
When is this happening?
This is like at sunrise.
Sunrise. Oh,
This is a very Karate Kid moment, honestly.
so early. Fuck.
You're a good man. And you're a good fighter too. But don't let the man overtake the fighter. And don't let the fighter overtake the man. You understand?
I understand. I hope that didn't wake up. I think that woke up everybody.
This is the seismic impact of Kazimir's body.
Melaena was already awake.
Yeah, like physically, like Bastian's tent just like jumps.
Ugh.
No, you're still in the sand. You're fine, but
Why?
Who doesn't love a Karate Kid moment? Who doesn't love that?
That's it.
That's it. That's all I got. That's it for that.
cool. All right. Anyone want to do something else? A couple people want to talk to Melaena. A couple people want to talk to Bastian.
Before that scene ends, Ragna will reach into his pack and give Kazimir a friendship bracelet.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about? Explain yourself,
You
Christian.
fucking heard me, bitches.
Explain yourself.
Ragna goes.
This is the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Ragna goes as they're like cleaning off the sand, like dusting the sand off themselves. Ragna goes, oh wait, and he goes into his bag, and he pulls out what is essentially a giant like charm bracelet. And on the bracelet itself are coins, like small, like maybe like nickel-sized coins, quarter size maybe, and each coin has a symbol on it, front and back, of let's say for Ragna it's an anvil and fire. For Kazimir, it's a bull's head and a sun. For Bastian, it's a book and a peacock. and for Melaena, it's a Damascus steel dagger and moons and stars. And he goes, I wasn't sure when I wanted to give this out, but I think that time is coming soon. So you get the first one. And he
No, there's more.
I got one for all you bitches.
Christian, Christian, don't do this, Christian.
So just know when it's my turn to talk to both of y'all getting one. It's happening.
No!
It's happening.
Kazimir waits in the sand and like pauses and looks at Ragna as he pulls out this gleaming medallion like brace and like let me see.
Hands it off proudly.
Fits it around like his very thick forearm.
And it fits perfectly. Like there's no tightness, it doesn't hurt, it feels very like nice to the touch.
After like a couple long minutes of seconds of like silence, just kind of goes forward and like scruffles his head and then like pulls him in for like a single arm hug.
And Ragna will hug him back.
In most situations, I would deny such a thing. But you are not most people, Ragna.
For the first time, that makes me happy.
Smiles, walks away.
What the fuck, dog?
That is
I hate
yay.
this with every fiber of my being.
So that was the best scene I ever RP'd. Anyway.
Yeah,
Is it travel day?
it is. But first of all, you guys gained another hero level. Are you at this level? Are you guys ready to learn about what else you guys get?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Give.
All right, we'll start with Melaena. So, you now have, you can utilize your necrotic damage twice. So you can do that twice before a long rest rather than just once.
Ooh.
The 2d6. And then, when you take a turn doing nothing, standing absolutely still, not doing anything, shadows surround your body and hide you. You can make your next attack with advantage.
Holy shit.
Hi, I gave you free sneak attack. You're welcome.
Well,
so
it's
fucking
not
rip.
free. It's the whole turn, but
It's
it's
not
fine.
free.
Oh, but it's free. It's a promise advantage.
A promise advantage.
Bastian. You gain Find Familiar for free. You can now utilize Xerxes as your familiar. And you can utilize him like a Pact of the Chain familiar, so he can attack.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yo!
You also may utilize speech through him. You can speak through him up to 150 feet away, and you can hear responses back.
Bitch, I got an attack peacock in the butt.
Yeah, you do. Ragna, all of your attacks now do extra fire damage.
Ew.
It's like a hammer to metal to like an anvil. You add 1d6 fire damage to any attack, including Echo's attack, for free. You may use your bonus action to expand an extra 1d10 fire damage. You have that many times to your proficiency, but only you can do that. Also, your fire negates resistance.
Oh my god.
So it was 1d6 on 1d6 fire for all attacks.
Yeah, you just add 1d6 fire to all of your attacks, including echoes.
Okay.
And then you pretty much got free smite. So up to your proficiency level, you can add 1d10. You can stack these. So like if you were at like 3 proficiency level, you can add 3d10 to one attack if you wish, but you won't have any more until a long rest.
Gotcha.
But only you can use that. Echo can't use that.
Gotcha.
Kazimir, you ready?
Yeah.
Your rage creates another alternative effect. every time you rage, along with your wild magic, you roll a d100. This effect will last until the end of your rage as well. 1 to 50, you can use your bonus action to self-heal for 1d4 damage. 51 to 75, you may use your bonus action to heal anyone within 60 feet, 1d6. And that's like there's no cap on it. You could do it every turn if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Let's see. 76 to 90, a Laurel of Apollo comes out. You may use 1 free casting of Entangle with a DC of 14. And 91 to 100, all of your accounts count as radiant damage.
Ooh, nice.
Ta-da!
Thanks. That's fucking awesome.
Extra gifts.
Holy shit.
Gifts.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I will have them, but I will also send each of you.
Oh,
these are.
Could you send me my first moon too? Because I can't remember the
I
exact.
can send you the entire
details.
thing, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a familiar, everybody.
You got nothing
Yeah.
else, yeah.
I will say, as Kaj is like traveling, you'll see he's like looking at his right hand, as there is now a like emblazoned like sun on his palm.
Ooh.
Like that.
Hell yeah.
While we're traveling, while we're just plodding along, do you mind if I do something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bastian just wants to trot up next to Kazimir real quick.
Okay.
Rolls down the window. No, I'm kidding. Looks out the window and is like, "Good morning."
There's no window. Wait, are you in the carriage?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, fuck. All right, then he's like plodding along behind. You don't like it when people call you big, do you?
It is true.
That didn't answer my question.
No, I don't.
Why not?
Do you remember when I first met you?
Which part?
On Alpha.
Yeah, like the throwing me on the ground or...
And all I thought you were was some slimy con man.
Yes, correct.
When people see me, all they see is a brute.
And this upsets you?
I resent it.
Seems like a lot of emotional energy to spend on thinking about other people's opinions. You really resent it.
When other people have control of your life, yes, you care a great deal about what other people think.
Okay.
Perhaps one day I will tell you more, but that is the answer.
I mean, it seems like you still don't have to care if you don't want to.
When there are people to protect, there are still things left to sacrifice. And if that means me being seen as anything other than a brute is the thing on the line, farewell to that, Kazimir.
Never mind. Yeah, okay.
Tell me.
No.
Maybe when you tell me everything else. He's gonna trot away.
Turns back around.
Finley's gonna look up at you. I don't think you're a brute.
I know. And I don't think you're a monster.
Appreciate it.
Ragna, you know, I've been thinking we should really. I know that you've been sparring with Kazimir, and to be clear, I do not want to lift a sword. I don't.
Of course.
But I was thinking maybe we could, you know, have a session. I don't know, Melaena, would you want to do anything like that?
Would you like to know grapples or escape techniques?
No.
Let me rephrase that. Escape techniques from grapples.
You're misunderstanding me. I'm suggesting that we fight. But you use what you do, and I will use what I do. And now that we have healing magic, we don't have to worry about, you know, killing each other.
You could just not be lethal to each other.
It's hard to do with spell stuff.
It's
I'm
fine.
not going to be lethal on purpose.
It's fine. I'm used to having spells thrown at me. So if you want to test this spell out or two, it's fine.
I just hate being left out. I have FOMO.
But I have a price.
Okay.
You tell me more about yourself afterwards.
I mean, what do you want to know? I could go on forever.
I'll let you choose.
I won a national spelling bee when I was 12. Like spelling?
I fucking hate you. I hate you.
I'm leaving the campaign. You guys can run it yourself.
Oh, God.
I would love to hear stories about you, Bastian. I don't. This recent brush with our own demise as a made me realize I don't know a thing about you other than.
You want something to miss when I'm gone? Well, I can definitely provide that.
Of course, please. And I guess they move on and move away to do that.
I'm sorry. I'm still spelling bee.
Oh God.
Awful.
I liked it. It was good.
Thank you, Christian. I mean, I think he would start with telling you probably just about like crazy experiences he's had at parties. Probably that's what he would start with, because that's, and it is lurid.
I think throughout them talking about his party experiences, I think Ragna will come out and ask a question. Okay, so how? There's still something I've been curious about ever since I met you.
Mm-hmm.
How does a noble go from being a noble to being a con man when it's usually the other way around? What was the moment of switching that for you?
I mean, I didn't do it to like support myself. It was just a fun thing to do.
Why don't you tell me about your first con? Very first one.
I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. I've been pretty much as soon as I had a wand in my hand, I was harmless tricks, you know, flashbang here, banana peel there, nothing wild, but you know, that stuff gets old so quickly. And found some friends who were into the same stuff that I was, not like as good as me, but you know, interested. And they were doing bigger tricks, you know, stopping traffic in both directions, making a visiting noble look like he's wearing a chicken costume, anything. I mean, just stuff, as long as I could remember. Well, not as long as I can remember, because I can remember pretty much everything, but you know, a long time.
Was that your way of doing things or your family's way of doing things? The entire Amanda's family, were they also illusionists? Are they magical as well?
Illusionists, maybe, I guess, without the magic. Bullshitters, I think. Is better, but yes. Just like everyone else.
Everyone else in the city you were born in.
Yeah, Marinid.
Serenity, yes. Was all that fun for you? All that trickery and lying?
Oh man. Bastian like opens his mouth and he has like the same like lackadaisical sort of expression on his face, like he's about to bluster on about everything he has said before, and then just kind of like stops and closes his mouth and thinks for a second. I mean, I think it was fun.
You think it was fun?
I mean, yeah, I think it. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't at the very least interesting. Finding new ways to use spells. Finding new solutions to weird problems. Even if the problems were, I can't get this person's attention. I think it was fun.
What are you doing to get attention?
Well, I certainly didn't resent it.
No, I wouldn't imagine you would, of all people.
I... I imagine that I caused unnecessary chaos for other people. But for me, yes, it was fun. That's why I'm a bad person.
You're not bad, you're just
Bad.
Misguided. There are many schools of magic, so there are many lessons to be learned from it. You learn certain lessons from the city you were born in. A way of learning and a way of living.
You should have been like a priest or something.
I've been hearing that a lot, but this is mainly for my sister. How your magic affects who you are. Your school of magic does that as well.
Well,
The words you say, how you act, how you perceive the world. It is all connected to the magic you use. It's what you do with that magic and how you shape that magic that matters. And I think you can use your magic in much more agreeable and more complex ways than simple tricks.
or a politician also could have been a really great career path for you, I think.
No, an iron claw is a blacksmith. I mean, the whole pride's name comes from the fact that our claws, they're a shade of iron.
Oh.
And apparently, legend says that the very first iron claw dipped her claws in raw molten iron. In order, yes, it sounds painful, in order to truly connect with her forge and to feel connected to the rawness of creation. And so, Iron Claws stick to her principle, stick to her way of thinking. If you truly want to be this great mage, this fantastic mage that you think you already are, and I've seen you be, then separating yourself from one school and exploring as many as you can, many perspectives and thoughts of that way, it might help connect you more with magic.
Or a tutor.
Or a tutor. Or a tutor.
You remind me of my tutors. They said a lot of
Hey,
that.
well, unlike your tutors, you don't have to pay me, so.
And yet you're still here. Shocking.
I'm your friend. Why wouldn't I be? Now, come on. Hit me with some magic.
Oh, like now?
Like now, yes.
Are we gonna get off our horses first?
I mean, we can. if it's the magic that needs a requirement for me to get off my horse, but
Are you sure?
I'm okay.
maybe we should wait until we're at camp,
Sure.
and then we can actually face off. And I won't just blow you off your horse and potentially kill your horse, donkey, mule, creature.
Yes. I
Because
agree.
I'll beat the shit out of you, but I won't hurt a mule.
Hey, at least there's a boundary.
I do have some boundaries.
I'm trying to figure out what those are. See. Again, I don't know much about you, so. But now I know more. And I feel better about that.
That's it.